Welcome, this is Carrie Schell from On Point Quilter. If you have drafting books, you've probably noticed that feathered stars can be a little complex to draft from scratch. However, EQ really helps us out in that it provides a couple of basic blocks that we can modify. See how I do this in this tutorial. So I have opened Electric Quilt and I have named my project Feathered Star, and I'm on the home screen and I'm going to select Search for Block Patterns. And under the block patterns I'm going to go to Feathered Stars, which is under the 01 Classic piece. When looking more closely at the feathered stars, you can see that most of them have either 3 half-square triangles for each feather, or they have 2 half-square triangles for each feather. And so I'm going to take one of each of those and select it and select Add to Sketchbook, and then close the block library. Now I'm going to view my project sketchbook, and I'm going to use the 2 feathered star and select Edit. In order to draft my own center, I'm going to delete all of the line segments in the center. And I can do that by selecting them with the Pick tool and select either Delete in the toolbar or on my keyboard. Then I will select Add to Project Sketchbook. Since a feathered star is based on an 8-pointed star, the grid snap points are not useful. And so in the Precision toolbar, I'm going to change my snaps to 4x4 just to minimize the possibility that I'm going to snap to a grid point. Then under the snapping options, I'm going to select Snap to Node Only. Then I will select the Line tool and draw an on-point square for the center of the block. And now I want to create a variable star within that center patch. So with my Edit tool, I'm going to click on each of the lines, and under Partition Segment, I'm going to change it to 4 and select Apply. And I'm going to do that on all 4 sides. Then select the Line tool and connect up the first and the third nodes on each of those line segments. Then select the Color tab and the Draw tab to add nodes at all intersecting lines. Then select each of the lines for the center square and select Edit followed by Half. Now select the Line tool and create the flying geese units for the feathered star. Next, we will create another variable star block inside the current variable star block. So with the Edit tool, I'll select each of the lines for that center square and select Half. Select the Line tool and then connect the first and the third nodes for that center square. And now I need to do some additional halves to get a node in the center. And I can create the flying geese units in the center. Then select the Color tab and do a preliminary coloration of your block. Now I'm going to go back and make some additional changes. So I'm going to go back to the Draw tab. I'm going to zoom in on the center, and I decided for each of the squares on that outside variable star, I'm going to do a half. Then select the Line tool to create a 4 patch for each of those center squares. Then I'll continue with the Line tool and turn a couple of those squares into half-square triangle units. Then go back to the Color tab and make any adjustments to your coloration. Now we will need to add back some horizontal and vertical lines to connect the feathered star pieces to the center block. So go back to the Draw tab, and I know the angle I need, so with the Pick tool, I'm going to select that and clone. Now when I let that snap, it's obviously too small, so I'm going to do a resize. I'm going to select 125%, and now I think it will meet up, and I will just zoom in. It went over maybe a little bit, but over's fine because that will just get cut off when I go to coloring. And so now I can clone rotate 90 for the other side. And I'm actually with the shift key going to select both of those and do a clone rotate 90. So I'll do another clone rotate 90 and a clone rotate 90 for the last section. Then I can go to the color tab and color the newly added patches. Now let's add a ribbon to the outside edges. So I'm going to go back to the draw tool, select the line, and I will connect up the nodes for the diamonds. I will add another line for the four corners. I think I messed up, so no big deal. I'll take my edit tool and I'll go move that one. And now I will do a coloration of that. And I can hide show quilt patch lines to see if I like the way that looks. And if so, I'm going to add this to the project sketchbook. Thanks so much for watching. I look forward to seeing how you decide to modify your feathered star block. Feel free to post pictures on the Learning EQ Facebook page.